Hello children, I am Mrs. Z, and today I will be reading the story Weslandia by Mr. Paul Fleischman. Of course he's miserable, moaned Wesley's mother. He sticks out like a nose, said his father. Listening through the heated vent, Wesley knew they were right. He was an outcast from the civilization around him. He alone in this town disliked pizza, soda, alarming his mother and school nurse. He found professional football stupid. He refused to shave half his head, the hairstyle worn by all the boys, despite his father's bribe of $5. Passing his neighborhood's two style of housing, garage on the left or garage on the right, Wesley alone dreamed of more exciting forms of shelter. He had no friends, but plenty of tormentors. Fleeing from them was the only sport he was good at. Fleeing from them was the only sport he was good at. All the kids in the neighborhood are teasing Wesley because he's different. So they torment him and he has to run away.
What's tormenting?
Tormenting is like teasing, making fun of him. They're being cruel. Each afternoon, his mother asked him what he had learned in school that day. That the seas are carried great distances by the wind, he answered on Wednesday. That each civilization had its staple food crop, he answered on Thursday. That school's over and I should find a good summer project, he answered on Friday. As always, his father mumbled, I'm sure you'll use that knowledge often. Suddenly, Wesley's thoughts shot sparks. His eyes blazed. His father was right. He could actually use what he learned that week for a summer project that would top all others. He would grow his own staple food crop and found his own civilization.
I know.
The next morning he turned over a plot of ground in his yard. That night a wind blew in from the west. It raced through the trees and set his curtains snapping. Wesley lay awake listening. His land was being planted.
Stop.
5 days later, the first seedlings appeared. You'll have a almighty bedlam on your hands if you don't get those weeds out, warned his neighbor. Actually, that's my crop, replied Wesley. In this type of garden, there are no weeds. Following ancient tradition, Wesley's fellow gardeners grew tomatoes, beans, Brussels sprouts, and nothing else. Wesley found it thrilling to open his land to chance and to invite the new and unknown. The neighbor was putting him down, telling him that his garden was going to grow weeds. But Wesley says, not in my garden. Everything's welcome, even the new and the unknown. The plants shot up past his knees, then to his waist. They seemed to be all of the same sort, and Wesley couldn't find them in any plant book. Are those tomatoes, beans, or Brussels sprouts? Asked Wesley's nosy neighbor. None of the above, replied Wesley. Fruit appeared yellow at first, then blushing to magenta. Wesley picked one and sliced through the rind to the juicy purple center. He took a bite and found the taste to be an entrancing blend of peach, strawberry, pumpkin pie, and flavors he had no name for. Ignoring the shelf of cereals in the kitchen, Wesley took to breakfasting on the fruit he grew. He dried half a rind to serve as a cup and built his own squeezing device and drank the fruit's juice throughout the day. Pulling up a plant, he found large tubers on the roots. These he boiled, fried, and roasted on the family barbecue, seasoning them with a pinch of the plant's highly aromatic leaves. It was hot work tending to his crop. To keep off from the sun, Wesley wove himself a hat from strips of the plant's woody bark. His success with the hat inspired him to devise a spinning wheel and loom on which he wove loose-fitting robe from the stalk's soft inner fibers. Unlike jeans, which he found scratchy and heavy, the robe was comfortable. It reflected the sun and it offered a myriad opportunities for pockets. His schoolmates were scornful. Then they were curious. Grudgingly, Wesley allowed them 10 minutes apiece at his mortar, crushing the plant seeds to collect the oil. This oil had a tangy scent and served him both as a suntan lotion and a mosquito repellent. He rubbed it on his face each morning and sold small amounts to his former tormentors at the price of $10 per bottle. "What's happened to your watch?" asked his mother one day. Wesley admitted that he no longer wore it. He told time by the stalk he used as a sundial and half divided the day into 8 segments, the number of petals of the flowers on his plants. He adopted a new counting system as well, based likewise upon the number 8. His domain, home to many such innovations, he named Weslandia. Wesley's making his own civilization. He's making his own clothes, his own food, juice, suntan oil, mosquito repellent. He's found a way to tell time and also ways to count. Uninterested in traditional sports, Wesley made up his own. These were designed for single player and used many different parts of the plant. His spectators looked on with envy. Realizing that more players would offer him more scope, Wesley invented other games that would include his schoolmates, games rich with strategy and complex scoring systems. He tried to be patient with the other players' blunders. August was unusually hot. Wesley built himself a platform and took sleeping in the middle of Weslandia. He passed the evenings playing a flute he fashioned from a stalk, gazing at the sky, renaming the constellations. His parents noted Wesley's improved morale. "This is the first time this year he's actually looked happy," said his mother. Wesley gave them a tour of Weslandia. "What do you call this plant right here?" asked his father, not knowing the name. Wesley began calling it Swist, from the sound of its leaves rustling in the breeze. In like manner, he named his new fabrics, games, and foods until he created an entire language. Mixing the plant's oil with soot, Wesley made a passable ink. As the finale to a summer's project, he used the ink in his own 80-letter alphabet to record the history of his civilization's founding. In September, Wesley returned to school. He no longer had a shortage of friends. And that is the end. What do you guys think about the book?
Good.
Do you want to make your own civilization?
Yeah.
You think you could go in the backyard, dig up some dirt, plant a seed, and grow plants?
Dig on the dirt.
You could. Thank you guys for listening to this story, Weslandia. Till next time.